You see, I got my nice Italian suit on. Yes, this is Italian. I'm not just saying that. Very nice. I don't even know what the brand is. I forgot, but it fits very good. Okay, that's beside the point. We're gonna be talking about the Fed. Hopefully, Darren knows. Let's get right to it. The Fed structure. This is what you didn't learn in school. This is a map of 1914 Federal Reserve System and district borders, and this is from the government website. You can go look this up yourself. The Federal Reserve System has multiple parts that together serve as the central banks of the United States. This is where the money comes from. If you've ever asked, where does money come from? Like, does it actually have an intrinsic value? Like, is it actually backed by something? And we'll get into all of that. You think it's backed by gold, but it's not. So if you've asked those questions, this is the answer, okay? This is what they didn't teach you in school. They may have taught you some of it, but this is getting down to the root of it. And I'll leave it open for you to figure out like the actual answer, but I'm just gonna lead you to the water. Can't make a horse drink, but you can lead him to the water, okay? So check this out. The Federal Reserve System has multiple parts that together serve as the central banks of the United States. This system has three main entities: the Board of Governors, the Reserve Banks, and the FOMC, or the Federal Open Market Committee. Okay, so let's break down that structure real quick, okay? The Board of Governors is an independent government agency. They're independent, based in Washington, D.C. That means that by being independent, that it does not receive its fundings through the congressional budget and appropriations process. And its leadership does not change when a new U.S. president takes office. This agency oversees the operations of the 12 reserve banks across the United States. The name Board of Governors is used for both this agency and the 7-member board that governs, okay? The 7-member board, including the chair or the chairman and vice chair, are nominated by the President of the United States and confirmed by a vote of the Senate. The board reports to and is accountable to Congress. Although Congress sets the goals for monetary policy, decisions made by the board, and specifically the Fed's monetary policy setting body, the FOMC, do not require approval by the president or anyone else in the executive or legislative branches of government. The 7 members of the Board of Governors oversee the Board of Committees and sit on the FOMC. Now, let's talk about the bank, the 12 reserve banks. They're a network of decentralized regional institutions of the Federal Reserve System that oversees economic and banking life across the United States. Each of the Federal Reserve districts is headquartered in a Federal Reserve Bank. First is Boston, second, New York, third, Philadelphia, fourth, Cleveland, fifth, Richmond, sixth, Atlanta, seventh, Chicago, eighth, St. Louis, ninth, Minneapolis, 10th, Kansas City, 11th, Dallas, and 12th, San Francisco. The reserve banks are independent corporations overseen by each respective bank's board of directors. And third, the Federal Open Market Committee, or better known as the FOMC. The Federal Open Market Committee, or the FOMC. It's the third entity of the Federal Reserve System that sets U.S. monetary policy. It's a committee made up of all 7 board members, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and 4 of the other 11 Reserve Bank presidents, who serve as voting members on a yearly rotating basis. The chair of the Board of Governors is the chair of the FOMC. When journalists or others talk about the Fed setting monetary policy, they often mean the FOMC. Now that we have somewhat of a grasp of the US banking system, you're not going to want to miss what's next. And they did not teach you this in school.